Hi, my name is Tony, and in this video I'll show you everything you need to do to get from this to these attachments for your tool belt. I'll show you where to get the pattern from, how to print it, and how to use it to punch every single stitching hole, how to cut the leather, and even show you how to get rid of this boring color and get some of this rich patina on the leather. It will look like this has got some use right off your workbench, because new is too boring. Because if you want to sell me a pair of jeans or a t-shirt, you gotta get some holes up in that bitch. Thank you, America. Anyway, I'm gonna shut up for a minute while you watch me do some of the things I said I would just a few seconds ago. Now that you have the files on your computer, you have to open and print them. I recommend using Adobe Reader. This is software that's free to use, that's what I use. You cannot open and print them using editing software like Adobe Illustrator or Corel Draw or other software that can change the pattern itself. Also, our patterns are not compatible with laser cutters of any sort. There is one setting you need to have checked when printing the pattern. Please keep actual size or print at 100%, is the same thing. The page size is A4. However, you can go ahead and choose letter, or you can choose legal size, which are more popular in the US. The first page will contain a sizing diagram. There are two squares. Make sure when you print, the square is 5 or 2 inches in size. So go ahead, use a ruler, make sure the size is right. When you print the patterns, you need to cut them along the dotted line, okay? The one that has scissors. It's very important, when you put them together, both of those scissor sides match up. After we got all the patterns printed, we paste them together. And then we cut them out of the leather. You don't need to cut precisely on the black lines at this stage. Get all the pieces out of these pages. And then I'm gonna tell you next how to use these paper pieces to cut your leather. Now choose the right leather for your project, and then place the paper patterns on top of the leather. Use some masking tape to hold every piece flat, completely flat on the leather. At this stage, you're ready to go ahead and punch the holes. Make sure you get all the holes, don't miss any, because it'll avoid a lot of frustration later. So after you've punched all the holes, you can go ahead and cut the leather pieces out. You have to cut precisely on the black lines. Make sure the blade that you're using, whatever blade that is at the right angle, 90 degrees. At this stage, you should have every piece needed to finish your design. Okay, so we got the leather pieces ready to put together. There are 5 different designs, so you can choose on what you want to make and what tools you want to hang around your waist. These two here are brothers, and these two here are cousins, because they're similar, not because they're actual family. They are inanimate objects. Now, we're about to bend and fold vegetable tan leather, so I strongly recommend wetting the flesh side where the fold will be, otherwise the leather may crack. Next, let's stitch this fold here at the front. I will be using 1mm waxed thread for the entire time in this video. Also, good to know, the holes are made with a 1.5mm round puncher spaced at 6mm. Next, we fold this piece like so and form a loop that will allow the belt to run through. Before we move on, some more water to wet and shape along the stitching edge like I do here. I got these things to hold my leather in place while I stitch. I'll leave a link in the video description just in case you want to get some. Also, I will leave links for all the recommended tools just in case you're starting out your leather working journey. Pretty useful, I gotta say. When stitching, make sure to keep the edges aligned the best you can.
So do take your time. It is only a very small stitching line. Once you are done with both the stitching lines, you should be looking at this pouch. Your pockets are very grateful. They don't have to put up with your heavy, dirty tools every time you're working on something. Your pockets say thank you. Well, like I said earlier, this guy has a couple of brothers, and they're conjoined twins. That's what they are. Look at them. All right? They're joined here in the middle. If you want to make the twins, the build process is exactly the same. There is no difference except for this bit here where they stick together. So, you know, make this one or make this one, up to you. This pouch next. It's just a regular pouch attached to your belt. But is it though? Look at this design here. You have never made a pocket like this. And right about now your mind is racing. Can I put it on something like my backpack? Can I make a case for my playing card? You can do it, but you know, let's first make this one now, shall we? And we're gonna start by attaching the flap. It is very important we attach the flap first. Next, fold the leather like this and complete this stitch here. Time to assemble the front piece. This will require 2 short cross stitches right here. Remember to pull as tight as you can on the leather. This is also very important. Once you are done with both corners, you can stitch the front cover in place using a simple saddle stitch. Next, let's shape the leather a little bit more. Be aware, it only works with vegetable tan leather. Next, go ahead and attach the front to the back with one simple saddle stitch. I used a Sam Browne button to keep the flap closed, but I guess a magnet or even a buckle will also work. I personally like Sam Browne buttons, or studs as they're called, because they're very easy to attach and they offer quick access to the contents. Now, the pattern package will also contain the plans for this little guy. This is ideal to carry a measuring tape around or other bits and bobs, that you need when you mend stuff. The build, it's the same except the flap disappears, and instead I use the middle of the back flap to make this sort of closure thingy here. Well, you don't like it, you want to use the flap instead, okay, no problem, but you gotta figure out how to do that on your own. And for our last design, I propose this hip pocket here. If you're not a gardener or a hairdresser, make one of these for them. They will love it and love you for it. It has these two slots here where you can insert scissors or other sharp objects. You can add one more, but just be aware, the more slots you add, the less room you're gonna have inside this pocket. Personally, I would have better use for something like this without these scissor slots here. So I'm just gonna remove those because I'm gonna keep this for myself. And I'm gonna have the pocket free for everything else I wanna carry around. Anyway, I'll show you how to make this version with the slots, and then you can later decide which one is better for your particular needs. Once it's finished, you can use swivel hooks to attach to any belt, just like that. Very elegant. See? That's pretty smart, you gotta say. The build is pretty straightforward. First, attach the slots from right to left, and then the front piece here. don't forget these D-ring straps, and then you're pretty much done. Told you, very easy. And at the beginning of the video, I promised I will show you how to add some nice patina on these things. So I'm gonna do that right now. Grab a felt polishing pad, link in the description unless you already have one. Rub some wax on it and just polish these things like there is no tomorrow. It doesn't work on chrome tan leather, so if that's what you use, don't expect any visible results. The more you do, the darker it will get from the felt rubbing and creating friction against the leather. So go ahead and do that. That's it. If you want to make your own, I will leave a link to the patterns in the video description. Yes, these patterns are not free, but they are very cheap. And if you add up the time and the materials it will save you, they are very well worth it. Right now, it is your choice if you want to spend a few dollars and start making something like this right now, or draw your own patterns and start in a week or so. And this is also true for any of my patterns. Also important, remember to subscribe and click that bell button so next time I release a tutorial like this, you are the first to know. Peace!